Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. And in today's lesson, guys, we're going to be looking at IDW's TMNT 2011 series, Volume 2, Enemies Old, Enemies New. And yeah, I really enjoyed Volume 1 of this series, and I can't wait to go through all 25 volumes with you guys. So without further ado, let's jump right into today's story. Let's go. So this story starts off with Splinter taking on Old Hobbs's gang members, basically. It's kind of making his way back to his home with the Turtles. And yeah, while that's going on, we get to see the Ninja Turtles talking to each other about everything that has been going on in this last year or so. Kind of like catching up with Raph, basically letting him know everything that's been going on. And they kind of question where exactly is Splinter, and we get to see a flashback showing Splinter and the Turtles' previous lives. Just in this story, it's revealed that they are actually being reincarnated into the Turtles and Splinter. And yeah, so in this continuity, we get to see that Oroku Saki, the Shredder, basically him and Splinter were actually, teammates. Basically, they were clan members. And whenever Oroku Saki was going to start killing innocents in order to show off the Foot's power, Yamamoto Yoshi actually chose to, go against him and said that there's no way he was going to kill innocent people. And in retaliation for Yamamoto's actions, we get to see that the Shredder actually sends his Foot people to go kill Splinter's family, basically, and his wife gets killed off, but she makes Yoshi promise her that he'll take care of their kids and escape with their lives, and not try to take on the Shredder at this moment. So he agrees to it, and he takes his sons away from that, from their place, pretty much from their home, and trying to, escape the Shredder and his forces. Now we get to see that we go into present day, and we get to see that Casey Jones is talking to his coach on his hockey team, and he's basically told by the coach that he has to get his grades up or he's going to have to kick him from the team. And he even tells him that he hopes that he can get his stuff in order and hopefully his family can help him out, his parents. But the coach has no idea how exactly his relationship with his father is. So yeah, Casey kind of takes that in poor taste. We also get to see that April is actually going to be going out on some type of vacation soon, so she puts out an ad for a tutoring job. And yeah, you can kind of see where they're going with this, with the story with Casey basically passing by April while she's leaving her apartment or something like that. Yes, they're in the same apartment. And yeah, so we go back into a flashback and we see that Oroku Saki, the Shredder, gets his foot ninjas, and they actually find where Splinter, Hamato Yoshi and his sons were. And they basically execute all of them. They decapitate all his sons first. And then before he can die, he basically tells the Shredder that he will meet him again one day, that he will destroy him. And this is where Shredder basically decapitates Hamato Yoshi, and yeah, that's the last we see of them in the past. And Splinter basically is, going to tell this to his sons, and we're seeing it first before he explains it to them. And when he finally arrives home, he gives all the Turtles their signature bandanas, Donatello having purple, Leonardo having blue, Michelangelo having orange, and Raphael continues to wear the red. He also grants Raphael his iconic size, and it looks like everything is back to normal. So the Ninja Turtles go off on a scouting mission, and they see that there's some foot ninja basically, jumping from the rooftops, so they kind of go after them. And there's this type of French ninja type spy guy that takes on some of the Foot members, but he basically gets ambushed and gets killed off. They even destroy themselves if they make their escape, the Foot soldiers, before the Turtles can intervene. And yeah, Raphael's pretty mad because Leonardo told him not to, get involved, even though they probably could have saved this French guy's life. But as he takes his dying breath, he basically, lets them know something, and Donatello basically tells him he thinks that what he meant to say was that a word is coming, just he only speaks French. And yeah, so we get to see Bastard Stockman talking to Old Hobbs, and he's basically telling him that he needs him to get that sample of Splinter, or to bring Splinter to him. So it looks like that, situation is going forward. And Casey's situation in grabbing April's note, that she put, that ad, shows that he's gonna go, talk to April and see if she can tutor him. And his father basically just makes fun of him, showing that the relationship still isn't good. I hope that the father does get redeemed later on in future issues or slash volumes. I really hope that they do get to have a good relationship. Maybe something big happens to this guy and, changes him for the better. But we'll see if that ever happens. So Splinter basically tells the Turtles about, all the past and about reincarnation and all that, and how they're actually, Matsuyoshi and his 4 sons. Now, Donatello is very skeptical of this because he's a very science-based guy. He says that there's no way he can believe in reincarnation. And yeah, it's going to be a lot to swallow, basically, for Donatello. Hopefully we'll see more get explained in the future. Now, Casey meets April, and they have a little bit of a meetup, and they kind of get to know each other, so that's cool. We also get to see Baxter Stockman and Old Hobbs basically talk more about their partnership and what exactly is the next plan they're going to enact to try to get Splinter and capture him. This is where Stockman shows off his Mausers to Old Hobbs and shows the effectiveness of their battle prowess, and Old Hobbs basically tells him to, call his things off, whereas, Baxter basically reveals that these things are called Mausers. Now, Crane actually makes his appearance, General Crane makes his appearance in this volume, and I think that was really cool. Crane is just a really cool design character, and this is a more modern design. I'm guessing they didn't want to go with the 1980s version, which is totally fine, because I guess this fits more with the tone that they set in this story. And yeah, it's really cool. We're seeing that he's getting fed up, and he's going to go talk to Baxter Stockman, as well as his goons that he has with him. Now we get to see that Michelangelo is again bringing Raph up to speed, and he actually introduces him to a guy that helps him out with, their pizza fits. He even throws in some salad for Splinter, and this guy is called Woody Durkins, and yeah, he's basically like Michelangelo's best friend, or as Michelangelo says, his best food friend. And it's just a really cool interaction, and stuff like this that makes comics better. When you take the time to make these people feel more human, or even though the Turtles aren't human, you know what I mean. Like, make them more relatable, because it's always fun to watch action scenes and read all that, but it's cool to see them just chilling and being just regular people. So I really appreciate that, as well as seeing Leonardo and Donatello having their discussion with each other as brothers, and basically talking about everything that Splinter was telling them about reincarnation, and if they believe it themselves. And Leonardo reveals to Donatello that he actually imagines, I guess, their mother, even though he doesn't say that it was his mother. He kind of has a feeling that he knows who it is. And yeah, while they're having their little heart-to-heart, talking to each other, trying to figure out exactly what Splinter means and if he's telling the truth, they get ambushed by some Mausers. So while that's going on, we get to see April and Casey basically hanging out with each other, and we get to see that the tutoring slash, I guess Casey's teaching her how to fight or something like that. They're kind of like working off each other and helping each other better themselves as people and what their goals. I don't really like that. Now, going back to the action, we get to see that Splinter, Leonardo, and Donatello are fighting off the Mausers, and they're trying their best, whereas Old Hobbs is basically controlling them with a remote device and is trying to kill the Turtles and take Splinter. Eventually, Hobbs reveals himself and tells them that, he's the one behind everything, and they're not really surprised by this, but yeah, so that's going on, and the Mausers are almost taking down the entire place with them and the Turtles and Hobbs. Whenever Michelangelo and Raphael finally arrive, at the sewer, and they don't, think anything of the rumbling they feel underneath their feet, thinking that, it's probably some type of joke by the Turtles. They're probably just, going crazy down there doing something. And yeah, that's going on, and we get to see that General Crane, as well as his goons, arrive to talk to Baxter Stockman. Baxter Stockman is pretty calm, which really surprised me. I really do enjoy how they're portraying his character in this, comic. He's not very, goofy. He has some goofy elements to him, but at the same time, he's very confident, and hopefully we get to see more of that confidence in later issues slash volumes. Now, we get to see that, Leonardo is getting overwhelmed, and Splinter and Donatello have fallen to the Mausers, and you can just see the stress and fear in Donatello's face. I really enjoyed this panel and how they portrayed the situation. So Donatello basically tells Michelangelo that he needs to get Splinter out of here, and while he's about to do that, Michelangelo gets attacked by tons of Mousers, that could actually kill him. And then we switch back to Baxter Stockman and Crane's, discussion with each other, and we get to learn from Baxter Stockman that the Foot actually have already successfully used the mutagen that I guess they had obtained or something like that into making a mutagen animal, kind of like a mutated animal, just like the turtles that have become like sentient and can actually talk and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And as Baxter said, it seems that the creature is in full control of its mental capacity. So hopefully we get to see this creature in a future volume. And yeah, Crane basically tells him that things are not going too good, I guess, on his home planet, that he wants to control Earth. And he basically tells Baxter Stockman that he better hope that the job he sent Old Hobbs to do obtains, Splinter, because he's losing his patience, that he will die if he fails again. So now we go back to Old Hobbs with all the Mousers basically overwhelming the turtles, and he uses some type of smoke screen with the remote that he had, I guess, and he grabs Splinter and makes his getaway. So while that's going on, we can see April and Casey basically talk to each other about their past and trying to open up to each other. And April, tells Casey the wild story about what happened with her and the Foot and Splinter and the turtles, and eventually she says the name Splinter. And she thought Casey was going to look at her crazy, but he believed every word of what she was saying. But when he hears the word Splinter, he remembers what Raphael was saying, I guess, or something like that. And he realizes that the turtles and the rat that April was talking about must be Raphael's brothers and his father. So he takes her to go meet them. So we go back to the fight with the turtles and the Mousers, and they're, putting in the work, but there's just too many Mousers. So eventually Donatello comes up with a plan that he realizes that Old Hob had put the Mousers on autopilot, so there might be a chance that he might understand how these things work. So he tells the turtles to get in a line, and get right behind him in a straight line, and this causes the Mousers to look at the, Donatello and see him as the only turtle, so they all get into a single line as well, and it makes an easy target for all the turtles to come out from Donatello's back and attack with their signature weapons and destroy every Mouser that's there. And yeah, the volume pretty much ends with the turtles realizing they need to split up and try to find Splinter, and Casey bringing April down to the sewer, meeting Raphael and his brothers, as well as, showing April them, and April kind of knocks out from the situation, kind of just like taken surprise and faints. And the turtles basically tell Casey that they like that, that they met him, but they need to get going because they have to go try to find Splinter and rescue him. And I love to see how, everyone treats Casey differently other than Raphael, even though, this is probably one of their first times meeting him. I'm not sure if they met him, before this, because sometimes they do like one-shot specials, so I'm not sure about that. But I do enjoy the friendship between Raphael and Casey. You can definitely tell in these dialogues that they have with each other that they really do like each other, and I hope that we get to see more of their friendship in future volumes/issues. And yeah, Raph basically tells them that we'll be back, cute girl, and Casey basically tells him, yeah, thanks, I just wish I never taught her how to punch, because something tells me when she wakes up, she's gonna break my face. It just shows the scene of the Ninja Turtles and Splinter versus the Mousers, and that's how the volume ends. So that was the IDW TMNT 2011 series, Volume 2, Enemies Old, Enemies New. And yeah, I enjoyed the first volume, and I enjoyed the second volume as well. This Ninja Turtle series definitely earned its reputation. When I had heard a lot of people recommending I read the TMNT 2011 series by IDW, and that it might rival the original 84 series of Mirage, which I have covered the entire series of that, all the canon arts on the channel, so go check that out. If you haven't, go check out that playlist. It should be at the end of this video. And yeah, I was not expecting it to be on par with that run, but by what I've seen, and considering we still have like 23 more volumes left in this run, I'm just amazed at the quality, and I'm enjoying even the little changes that they have made to the story and the lore. They're not too much of a change, and they still feel like Ninja Turtles. So I'm actually happy with what I read and what I'm continuing to read, and these little changes that they've had. So I can't wait to read the next volume, and I can't wait to cover it for you guys. I will be covering one volume every week. I don't want to speed through this. I wanted to take my time reading the series, enjoying every bit of it. And I think it's good for you guys to be able to check out my other videos as well, other retrospectives, and not just breeze through single stories really fast. Let's try to enjoy it, guys, and let's have a conversation down below. Comment down below, what did you think of this volume, and what do you think of TMNT 2011 by IDW, in general? Does it get better in future volumes? Am I going to be blown away by its quality? Let me know down below. But that's going to be all, guys. Until next video, God bless you, and until the next lesson, keep on reading those comments.
My future needed clarity, so I could see how you